The Triangle is a few hundred yards from the Hoover factory on the way into Merthyr. When it was built in the first decade of the 19th century, it was considered to be a model village for the workers at the old Plymouth Iron Works. As the iron industry prospered, the community put down roots. Now, Merthyr's iron industry is gone, but the community's still there. The same families still living in the same houses, and the council wants to pull them down.
Because they're unfit for people to live in.
What's wrong with them?
Well, there's damp, there's no modern conveniences, and indeed I was talking to a lady last night, and she said the only thing about it historical, as far as she is concerned, and she's moved out of the area, is that you can show your washing in public, or you can say good morning or good afternoon as you go to the toilet to the person next door. Now you're asking us to spend money to develop old properties, which indeed, as I calculated, we are spending 9,000 for new houses. And as far as this triangle is concerned, to develop it to a proper state, we would need about £750,000.
How much per house?
Well, I would say it could be between £8,000 and £10,000 each house.
There's not much of the model village anymore about most of the houses. The rent is only 70 pence, but they're in deplorable condition.
I asked the rentman to try and do something to it. They couldn't afford it. He hadn't got no men to do it. Therefore, I had to put a piece of paper over that, which keeps on coming down, and it have dropped now. But over here, we've had to patch that up ourselves to stop the rain coming in. And the wall, and all the paper, you can't paper nothing here because the dampness stops the paper, so that's why I want to go from here.
As the iron industry prospered, Merthyr grew and became the largest town in Wales. It also produced one of the first working-class movements in Britain. Merthyr's aggressive, radical tradition was born in these ironworks, old ruins now. There are many such relics around Merthyr, some say too many. That's what the Triangle is to most of the people still there, a ruin, a relic. But not all the houses. Some have been preserved and modernized in exemplary fashion and are cozy and attractive. Modern toilets and baths installed. And it's in the houses that have been brought up to scratch that one finds the people who want to stay, the people who resist the blandishments of Councillor Handley and the Planning Committee.
There's no particular point in saying my house, is not a slum. We're not saying that.
Come and have a look at my house to see if you can call it a slum. I have invited our MP down here twice, but he hasn't come near the place.
The only time we see you is when you
But Merthyr's Planning Committee can play Aladdin's uncle and tempt the residents with new lamps for old. The new lamps being the new council houses and bungalows at the new Pentrabach, less than a mile away from the old. Here, many who left the Triangle have been rehoused to their entire satisfaction. After living for 80 years in the Triangle, what does Mrs. Shell think of her new house?
I love it. I haven't got any other word to say except that I've liked it from the first moment, and I appreciate all the conveniences and the warmth, not going out into the cold for coal, not having to go out. We had to go a very long way to our toilets. All that to me is a godsend.
So you like your new house?
I love it.
Mrs. Shell is utterly convinced. If it's progress versus posterity, she chooses progress. And she didn't believe it was possible to bring the old houses up to this standard, even though now she has to pay substantial rent.
We pay less than £1 a week rent up there, and we pay nearly £7 a week down here. But for everything we've got, we'd rather pay the £7 a week.
Do you think that's a factor with some of the people down there?
No, I think the people that are making the most of us can afford to pay the rents. Because the people that have come, obviously a lot of us, not myself in particular, but a lot of other people who really, can't afford to pay this £7 a week, but they manage it and they'll cut down on other things. But there's not one that have already moved that wants to go back.
What do you say to the argument that the community wants to live in modern units and it wants to go to Hoover's to work and it wants to spend its money at a handy supermarket?
Well, that's fine. If they want to go there, they can go there. But large numbers of people want a sense of community. This place once was a real working class community. It's been under sentence of death now for 20 years. The old planning blight has fallen on it. There's only about 38 of the 79 houses left. The people who want to stay feel they're being are victimized. There are large numbers of people who wish to recreate community, and it's murder to try to build a community in an ocean of council houses without any character whatsoever, unless people struggle like hell to create it.